Yeah.
You want to like him, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. We straight gangsters over here.
Straight
man.
gangsters.
Ah.
Yeah, welcome back. You are listening to Scout Team Sports. We bring it to you hot and live each and every weekday. So glad to be back on the airwaves this beautiful Monday morning. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
Yes, all of that is true. And the man on the other microphone, he is the great patriot himself. We call him
America.
Yeah, it's your boy Chris America coming to you live this Monday morning from New London, Connecticut. We are ready to go, and I hear another voice on the mic.
You hear another voice. Go ahead. Roll my intro.
Are you sure?
Roll my
Hey,
intro.
I'm just here, so I
You heard
won't
what I
get
said.
Hey, I'm just here, so I won't
God
get
dang it,
I don't
man.
even know why
It's
you're
Monday.
here.
Do not test me. Do not test me. It's been a long weekend, man. Roll my
Wow,
intro
you
when I
are
say roll my intro, man.
feisty
You want me
today.
to come over there? I'm always feisty. Straight gangster. What's going on, guys? Happy Monday.
Man, aliens must have been rough last night.
What?
Ooh, God, those
You
aliens,
next.
they
You
don't
can
even
get-
give you a break,
you
do
can-
they?
You can get this smoke too, Chris America. You can get the smoke too, man. Ain't no problem. Ain't no
Bro,
problem, man.
I thought by this time you'd be used to the Green Bay Packers losing, and you wouldn't come in all grumpy, man. What's going on?
Dude, I am past Green Bay losing. That's why I'm grumpy. I don't care anymore. I'm out. I'm done, man. It's over. We suck. We sucked for the last 2 seasons. So I'm good, man. The Bears. I can't believe we lost to the Bears, man. God.
They're one of the top teams in the NFL. What are you talking about?
Man, I got Aaron Rodgers, man, and like a team full of cornerbacks. Thank you, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, but Mike McCarthy's gone. You can't thank him anymore. It's time to move on. Don't hold him.
We're still
don't
bla-
hold
we're
him-
still
Don't
I'm
hold him
still
to
placing
that.
blame at his feet. I'm placing blame at his feet, man. This is his fault still. So, yeah, it's been a rough weekend. Rough.
Yeah, but you said you didn't want to make the playoffs. You told me that you would rather this team, because they were so bad all year, for them not to make
I
the playoffs. Is that
didn't,
right, or is that wrong?
But at least, no, you're absolutely correct. But I did want to win a couple of games before the end of the season. Like, I wanted to beat the Bears at least, you know? So,
But now you're statistically eliminated, so you don't have to be stressed out all the rest of the NFL season. You know, it
I
doesn't
wasn't
matter what
stressed
you
out.
do.
No, I'm not stressed out about winning. I just don't want to go to the playoffs. But I wanted to beat the Bears. I really wanted to beat the Bears. I don't know why. I just wanted to beat the Bears.
Is it the
I'm gonna cry about it.
rivalry? Oh man, don't cry. Here's a tissue for you. I'm gonna hand you over through the microphone a tissue, so you can pat your
They're not
tears.
tissues, man.
I'm patting your tears
they're
dry right
allergies.
now.
I got allergies, man. Don't come at me, man. I got allergies.
Wow.
I'm a grown man.
I think we need a
Yes.
little pick me up.
We do need a little pick me up.
Well,
Man.
I know one of the shows we used to listen to, Basement Sports Report, they used to do something called Worst Weekend Than You, and I think we need to have a Worst Weekend Than You to pick up our man Golden Ghost. The Washington Wizards, the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Phoenix Suns had a worse weekend than you, buddy. Loudbeard, what's the story on that?
Okay.
Oh man, the story is that professional NBA teams, when they're developing a trade with each other, they decide that they're going to just take the other team's word for it. When they have 3 teams going, they've got one middleman, which I believe was Washington, and you got Memphis and Phoenix. And apparently there's players on these teams with the last name Brooks, but they didn't specify which one was going to get traded until the very end of the trade. And all of a sudden, everybody's confused about who is going to which team because they don't want one Brooks going and then not another one. Apparently, the thought is Marshawn Brooks was the one that was going to be traded,
But they sent him Mel Brooks.
yeah,
Mel
no.
Brooks.
Well-
we don't want Mel Brooks.
If you look at the details of the contract, it was actually a Brooks Brothers suit, and they thought it was an actual player, but no, it was just the Brooks Brothers. And then Mel Brooks jumps in and he says, I think this is going to be a reenactment of Spaceballs, and the NBA is trying to do their best impersonation of Mel Brooks.
Right. And then James L. Brooks said, listen, if Mel Brooks is in, I'm in. I want to be a part of this because we got to bring comedy to the NBA.
Well,
Absolutely.
And then Memphis was like, well, if we're going to get Brooks Robinson, a Hall of Fame Major League Baseball player, this is going to be one of the best deals we could ever have signed in our lives. Why would we not do this?
Yeah, but then Garth Brooks says, listen, I'm country music, Memphis. Why don't you want me?
Yeah, I
Something
mean,
like
once you
that.
go country, you don't go back. So you have to do the Garth Brooks. I mean, Garth Brooks is a legend in his own mind.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, they're like, well, we could get a Hall of Fame Super Bowl winning linebacker from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers named Derek Brooks. And if we can throw in Derek Brooks into this contract deal, we're obviously going to have to take it.
Well, not to be outdone by Garth Brooks, though, Brooks and Dunn was like, we need to be in this trade. We want to be in Phoenix.
Oh, good old Brooks and Dunn. Look at you. You're all trying to go all in
He's
with
Brooks out.
man, we are definitely Brooksed out. I can't even tell you how much we can do it. But then all of a sudden, Scotty Brooks, coach of the Washington Wizards, was like, hey, can I go ahead and just trade myself in this deal? The Wizards are like, we're done with you. You can't win that much. You're not that good. You were better when you were with Oklahoma City. So let's go ahead and throw Scotty Brooks in on this deal. And then maybe we can go ahead and make this thing done. So now it's gotten a little complicated.
Yeah. And then former Green Bay Packer Robert Brooks said, listen, I might be 47, but I still got a nice little hook shot going.
Hey, as long as you can still play, we're willing to throw you in this deal. So it doesn't matter who we're going to do or who we're going to put on here. It's as long as they're Brooks, we're all in it. So I don't know
throughout
about
all
you guys.
The Brooks confusion, the trade didn't go through.
I don't know how either.
It didn't go through.
No.
That's a lot of Brooks for the trade not to happen. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
You know, they
No.
tried to throw it in with one last Brooks, but it really complicated things.
Yeah.
There's a porn star by the name of Abby Brooks, and they
Oh,
said,
I've-
okay, if
yeah.
we put her in here,
Oh my God.
this is gonna get weird, but we might make it work. The whole thing
It's
imploded at that
always
point.
weird
There's
with you
there's
guys.
another one named Jamie Brooks as well, but she's a British porn star, so I don't know if she would be able to.
It's hard to make that trip over, every
Yeah, over the
for
pond.
the games.
Wait,
yeah.
Yeah.
wait. You guys remember porn stars by their names? Like,
Actually, I have a list on the internet of all the famous Brooks, and I'm just
Yeah,
reading
there's-
them off.
There's this cool
I've-
thing named
all right, you guys
the
are starting to
internet.
scare me. That's all I'm saying, man.
Well, are you in a
guys are
better
just-
mood though? That's the only thing that matters.
Well, somebody did have a worse weekend than me. I agree with that one. Now,
We thought
that
if we
was a
brought in
bad.
the adult film stars, you'd cheer up a little bit.
That it
Those are
just
always the ones he thinks
confuses
about.
me even more about you guys. That's all. It just makes what I know about you guys even weirder. I guess I don't. I
Yes,
don't know.
just two gentlemen acting like red-blooded Americans. That weirds you out.
There was Deanna Brooks, who was the Playboy Playmate of the Year in 1998. Does
Good
that
year.
help?
No.
Yep, she was in the trade too. Just
Oh, boy.
God, this is a long list of people with the last name of Brooks. I mean, it's famous. Brooks is famous. This was I mean, how does an NBA team mess this up so bad? That's what I got to ask you guys. This is bad. This has gotten real bad,
It's
and
embarrassing too.
oh yeah, super embarrassing. Twitter blew up after this whole
Oh,
thing
boy,
too
did it
because
ever.
Twitter just wants a reason to have somebody to make fun of. Just there's got to be something, a good story where they can go ahead and just like pour salt on a wound. That's Twitter. That's the whole essence of Twitter is just anytime somebody's down, let's find a way to kick them, and that's what Twitter has done. So congratulations to Twitter.
But let's kick them
Twitter
in
is
the
undefeated.
let's kick them in the most hilarious way possible.
Yes. Let's make a meme. Let's do a couple GIFs or GIFs if you're one of those people. Just however you can
Yes.
make fun of people, you do it.
Yeah.
Are you said GIFs? You're a GIF guy? I'm a GIF guy.
It's, we're not doing this again. It's GIF.
No, we're not. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole. There's no need for that. So we were originally talking about your Green Bay Packers and how they lost to the Bears. For the Bears, this was such a great victory. You know, they clinched playoffs. They clinched the NFC North. They're doing everything right this year. Their offensive tackle, he loved this so much that the moment swept him up, and he proposed to his girlfriend on the field after the game. Charles Leno, he proposes to his girlfriend. I mean, this is a big day for Chicago and not a great day for Green Bay. So how'd that make you feel, Anthony Mack, the man that is the Green Bay Packers fan for life? How does that make you feel?
And there was a scare that we almost lost our quarterback. You know what I'm saying? He went back for a couple of minutes, and they said, oh, he's not returning. And we're just like, oh, man, come on. Look, Green Bay has been on a downward spiral. There's no need to salvage this season. Khalil Mack is probably the best tackle defensive end in the league. There was no need to play Aaron Rodgers yesterday. It just wasn't. He shouldn't have even been on the field. And I know that sounds bad because people want to see Aaron Rodgers play, but our offensive line is el garbage. So there's no reason to subject our boy Aaron Rodgers to that. It was no need for it. We can't take that risk, and we shouldn't have. So hopefully now management, coaches understand, hey, the season's done. Go ahead and sit Aaron Rodgers, and let's get a game plan ready for next year. I mean, we got contracts and everything wrapped up, so all we just need to go out there is focus on the draft, focus on the head coach, and let's win next year. That's all we need to do.
You win one for the Gipper? Is that what you're saying?
No. Win next year. The
You just want to get it together and win one for the Gipper. Yeah.
No,
I like your
that's
strategy.
not what I'm
So I got to say,
I'm saying.
the NFC North has been, at least for me, has been a very disappointing year this year. I thought this would be one of the top divisions in the NFL, and maybe because they're so good, they beat each other up. I don't know what the deal is, but man, the Vikings have been a big letdown, even though they won this past weekend. The Packers have been a big letdown, and I thought the Lions would at least not maybe make a long playoff run, but be a solid playoff team, a team that could win. But they lose by 1 point last night or yesterday afternoon. Are you guys just as surprised by how bad the records are for the NFC or North teams?
The NFC North was supposed to be the powerhouse. I mean, you got Kirk Cousins over at Minnesota that went to the NFC Championship last year, and they were expected to go further. Green Bay is always there. Lions with the new coach, they were supposed to make some noise. I mean, it's not great. It's not good. And hopefully, next year all that fruition can come back to us.
The Bears,
maybe all of that. The Bears are good.
The Bears were the only ones that kept their end of the bargain. But NFC North not looking so good. That I just don't know what the deal is with the Lions. Maybe it is that they're paying too much money to Stafford and they can't afford other players. Their offensive line is really bad. They don't really have a running game, but that could also be because they don't have an offensive line. After they traded Golden Tate, you can't really name a receiver that you're like, yes, this is the guy you want on your team who will take over games for you. So, I don't know. It looks like it's back to...
No. Give Matt Patricia. It's his first year, man.
Oh, I'm not saying fire Matt Patricia. I'm just saying it's just been a disappointing season. They have a lot of work to do if they're going to be good. And obviously the Vikings won last weekend, or yesterday, but they played the Dolphins. And I know people jumped up on the Dolphins when they beat the Patriots, but I, for one, wasn't surprised because they always beat the Patriots in Miami. and they get routed 41-17. But yeah, anything else that
it's the
stuck out
Dolphins.
to you yesterday, Loudbeard? I know your Redskins won, so that's always good.
We're not talking about that sorry game, are we?
Well, after talking too much about the Green Bay Packers and how they are eliminated from playoff contention, we do need to talk about the Washington Redskins. And they are sticking around. They're doing just enough to stay in it. Wow, what a defensive battle this was. For the man who loves defensive battles, for you to go to sleep like that, it's just
No, man, it was just horrible offenses. Don't give me that crap about defensive battle.
These were two great defenses. These were juggernauts going up against two titans, just
Going against
battling
Cody
till
Kessler
the death.
and what is it? Is
Awful.
it Joe Johnson now?
Josh Johnson, not
Josh
Joe
Johnson.
Johnson. Joe
I mean,
Johnson,
Joe,
is an
Josh.
NBA legend.
Jeremiah, Jebediah, Job.
Two
It's not my
horrible
fault that
offenses,
the
and you're like it's a defensive juggernaut.
Jaguars have
Whatever,
taken their
bro.
good quarterback and benched him for Cody Kessler. That's not my fault. So, yes, okay, I'll have to agree with you. I am still very guarded on my optimism for the Washington Redskins because they did go up against a very bad Jaguars team. Not just the defense is decent, but that offense is absolutely horrid for the Jaguars. They thought maybe Cody Kessler would be the spark, but obviously it wasn't Blake Bortles that was the problem. It's the entire team. And the Jaguars just have a long way to go, and the Washington Redskins getting a win, it does help because we needed a win. We're still sitting there right there on the fringe of playoff contention. We need a few things to happen, like to win out and then the Vikings to lose, the Cowboys to lose a couple, or, a couple things can happen. But if all of those things happen and we make the playoffs, this will be a pretty bad team in the playoffs. It'll be like the Bills making the playoffs last year, a team that probably doesn't deserve to be in the playoffs, but somehow backs their way in. And I don't have a lot of good things to say about this Redskins team, but they stuck through it. They got the win, and that's all that matters. And here we are today talking playoff picture. Washington Redskins are still in it, so I can't complain.
So let me get this and just making sure 3 teams in the NFC East can make the playoffs.
Yes.
Cowboys, Eagles, and Redskins.
Yes,
Yeah,
they're
because
still
the
in it.
Seahawks took a big loss
Yes, they
yesterday.
did.
The Seahawks losing to the 49ers, there's no need for that. There really isn't. I think right now they should all be looking at themselves in the mirror and saying, this was our playoff livelihood right here. We just lost to the 49ers. Nick Mullins was emotional after the game. He's like, I can't believe we won a game. I can't believe it. And the Seahawks, you're sitting there. You could lose. They potentially could lose that wild card spot if they don't finish the season out strong. And when you have a matchup against the 49ers, it's basically a bye week, and you go in there and you stink it up. So I don't know. I don't understand it, but it helps keep my Washington Redskins in contention, and that's all that matters, gentlemen. And you know what? There's another team that's still in contention, and tonight they would need a huge win. Do you know which team that is, Chris America?
That is my Carolina Panthers. And watching the Seahawks go down and seeing that the Seahawks have the Chiefs up next Sunday night. Oh,
Yeah, it's gonna
a
be rough
beautiful
on-
thing to see. But my
Yeah.
Panthers need to get off the mat. They need to show some pride, and they need to punch the Saints in the face. That's what needs to happen. They need to do what the Pittsburgh Steelers did last night or yesterday evening, is they got off the mat and they punched one of the top teams in the AFC in the face, and they won a defensive battle, which I was surprised to see, 17-10 against the Patriots.
I think everybody was surprised to see that, even the Steelers. Like, that game was just so, once again, another weird week in the NFL. It's just weird, man. Teams that you thought were supposed to win do not. Teams that weren't competitive are competitive, and it throws everything into a tailspin, man. So that was that game in a nutshell. It just
think this was-
wasn't what anybody thought it was going to be.
I think this was outside of the Packers. I think this was the teams on the outside looking in on the wild card race, got off the mat and punched their opponent in the face. The Redskins did it to the Jaguars, the Steelers did it to the Patriots, and the Philadelphia Eagles, led by none other than Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles, beat up on the Rams. They got themselves
Yes,
on the map. They
did.
keep themselves in contention. Loudbeard, did you watch that game at all, or did you pack it in early last night?
I packed it in a little bit early last
yeah,
night.
So did I.
So
I watched it.
I looked at some of the highlights this morning, and I guess what I could say is you can tell when you've got a team that's already clinched playoffs, that isn't really playing for anything, going up against a team that is trying to just salvage their playoff livelihood. And when you see that, you see a little bit more aggressiveness. You see a team that's a little bit hungrier, a little bit willing to go that extra mile, more so than their opponent. And that's what it looked like last night with the Eagles and the Rams. And I will say, Foles, Super Bowl MVP.
Yes, it is.
And some teams are like that, but the Rams were trying to win that game. The Rams should have been out of it, like in the fourth with like 10 minutes left when Eagles got intercepted, when Nick Foles got intercepted, but they didn't stop. They kept coming at him. So now the Rams were pretty much really trying to win this game to
especially if they wanted,
things.
especially if they wanted home field advantage. They just lost it right there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, people are going to figure out these high-powered offenses. These defensive coordinators are going to put a stop to it eventually. I think the Rams have been figured out. That's all I'm saying. I think the Rams have been not exposed, but someone said, "Hey, look, this is how you do it, and this is what we're going to do," and they went out and did it. They stopped them. 23 points for probably one of the best offenses in the NFL. That's a disappointing showing. You know what I'm saying? I think people have figured out Goff and Gurley, and it's going to be a long road for them. I really do think so. Their defense has to step up for them.
So I think if they came out playing lacklusterly, then that's on the coaching staff, because they had a chance to eliminate the Super Bowl champs, and they had a chance, if the Saints were to lose tonight, they would have had home field advantage, and they would have held on to it. Or they could have held on to it throughout the rest of the season. But now that's pretty much gone. They need the Saints to lose 2 games now in order for them to win the home field advantage. I mean, they got my Panthers twice. I'm hoping that the Saints lose 2 times before the end of the season, but I doubt that happens. So, man, if the Rams are playing lackluster last night, that's on the coaching staff for not waking their players up and saying, "Look, listen, this game is just as important, if not more important, than any other game we've played this season."
Yeah. Now, I do see something on the Saints schedule. You guys play each other twice in 3 weeks?
Yep, that's what I said. They got
Saints
the
and
Panthers
Panthers?
twice. Yep.
Yeah.
So hopefully we
Holy.
beat them both times. I don't know that we will,
Ooh.
but we'll find out if we can beat them at least once tonight.
These last 3 weeks for the Saints means everything. They have you, the Steelers, and then the Panthers again.
Yep. I don't know why they set up their schedule that way, but
That's crazy.
they're going to be put through the fire before going into the playoffs.
Who managed that? Who thought that was a great idea?
I think it makes for exciting football at the end of the season, man. That's probably what they were going for.
Yes, I think it's you and somebody else has a very exciting last 3 weeks too. Last 2 weeks basically. I think, was it the Eagles? Was it the Rams? I don't remember. Somebody else has an exciting last couple of weeks.
The NFL has done a good job with making these conference battles at the end of the year. Now, the playing twice in 3 weeks, I think that just kind of happened that way. But if you look at it, the last week of the year, it is always rivals. The Redskins are going to be play the Eagles. When they made the schedule before the season, they had no idea if the Redskins and Eagles would be relevant. Now looking at it, they're both sitting there at fringe wildcard teams. So that last game of the season means so much, not only just for the conference, but for everything. So it's good. It's good battles. Same thing with the Panthers and Saints. Panthers are fighting for their playoff livelihood. So now they're going to really come out and show up against a good Saints team that is trying for home field advantage. So we're seeing the scheduling really help make this end of the season exciting, and that's what we want to see. And that's what we're getting. We're getting it good.
Yeah, I think they usually schedule all division rivals towards the end of the season to try to create that hoping it creates that excitement of wild card races and divisional races type deal. And I think more times than not it works.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's better than watching, the number one team in the nation play a military school.
Oh boy, here we go.
I agree with that.
I got you.
All right, guys. So
yeah, we missed
skipped
the
over
biggest game.
What's that?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The biggest
I'm
game
waiting
of
for
this
it.
past weekend, yeah. The Browns versus the Broncos. Biggest game of the weekend. Oh man. Baker Mayfield lit up that Broncos defense. It was an exciting football game. It was honestly, I forgot that they switched over to football on Saturdays once the college football season's over. So I just started scrolling through Twitter, and I see all these people tweeting about the Browns. I'm like, why are we tweeting about the Browns on a Saturday night? And I'm like, oh, that game is on. So I turned it on for a little bit. Fun game to watch, man. Baker Mayfield, he's got Rookie of the Year locked up.
Do you think Lamar Jackson's giving him a run for his money, though? Like,
No.
at least getting in
No,
that
'cause
conversation?
He didn't play the whole season, where Mayfield's been around since, what, week 2, week 3?
You think it matters if the Ravens get in the playoffs because of Lamar Jackson and they make a run?
I think if he finishes the Browns at 8-8, it's more impressive than finishing up with the Ravens going into the playoffs. Taking their 0-16 team to 8-8, or
they
or
would
even
be 7-7-1.
7-8-1.
Well, guess what? We might get our Rookie of the Year game wishes granted.
Is that game coming up?
Week 16. Week 16.
Nice.
Browns and Ravens.
God, I love the NFL.
Now, as of right now,
on.
the Browns are not statistically eliminated from the playoffs. I'm just letting you guys know
No,
that.
they're not.
No,
They're
not.
You're saying there is a chance. So the two teams ahead of them in this wild card race, both the Colts and the Titans, are sitting at 8-6. So there would need to be a lot to happen for the Browns to get in, which would include both of those teams who they play each other, the Colts and the Titans. They would need to tie. Both of those teams would need to tie week 17 when they play each other for the Browns to have a shot to get in. Is that
I
crazy?
don't think that's happening.
Is that crazy?
I don't
or
think
what?
that's happening. Nah. But is that game a win and get in game also? We don't know yet because we need another game to play, I guess.
What do you mean? Is that a win to get in game? Like for
Is
the
that-
Titans and Colts?
Yeah,
No,
is that a win
they're
game?
actually both outside of the wild card race right now. It is the Ravens and who's the other wild card team in there? I'd have to look at it. I don't have it
The
up in
Chargers
front of
or
me.
the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah. So the Chargers and Chiefs have it locked. So
Yeah.
it would really just be the Ravens. Ravens, it's theirs to lose at this point. Ravens win out. They've got the wild card. Nobody gets in. Titans, Colts, Browns. Nobody gets in. Browns, really, statistically, they have a shot. Like, weird things have to happen.
They
but
need a little
honestly,
help.
it's not going to happen. Yeah, it's not
They
going to
need
happen.
to beat the Ravens, and then they would need the Colts and the Titans to lose.
Yes.
Mm.
So
Now,
it's
check
not
this
going to
out.
happen.
Yeah,
No,
I
don't
hear
say
you, but
not.
Check this out. Yeah, don't say not. Anything can happen, bro. It's the NFL. But check this out. Our chaos theory might play out, man. If the Titans somehow sneak in, I'm just saying, Super Bowl bound Titans.
I like
Big
it.
dogs eat each other. Titans sneak in. Just saying. Dude, this is all fine and dandy, but we're not talking about the biggest game of the weekend, man. And we're coming up on break, so we're not going to be able to get it all in. You guys know what the biggest game of the weekend was. Come on, man. I think we all agree on this.
We'll find out next what the biggest game of the weekend was.
And this way, hold on.
He said, hold on.
That NFL segment was brought to you by Dak Cologne. When you're tired of the ladies getting on you and you don't want to score, get Dak Cologne. And for you older gentlemen, get Eli Cologne. Eli Cologne, it keeps you from scoring.
When I'm working hard, I build up a thirst for sports. That's when I grab a cold 12-ounce sports radio. "12-ounce sports radio. Quench your sports thirst."
Oh, guess who it is? Did you know the station had a janitor? Oh yeah, the Jefe, otherwise known as Beck. And it's Beck's Work Week in Review live on 12-ounce Sports Radio every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch interviews, special guests, and the recap of the week's news and headlines and box scores and results. It's Beck's Work Week in Review live on 12-ounce Sports Radio.
Scout Team listeners and friends of the show, I've got something special for you. It looks like 12-ounce Sports Radio has done it again. We have partnered with Rally House. You just go to the website, 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the banner on the right side of the page, and it will take you directly to Rally House. Rally House has some of the greatest, most unique sports items for that diehard fan, casual fan, and anybody and everybody out there that is special in your life. So go ahead and check it out. Once again, go to that website, 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the banner to the right of the page, and you will get taken to the best sports merchandise website on all of the interweb. Do you own a small business? Are you looking for solutions to all of your communications problems and challenges that you have? Check out Ring Central. Give them a call. They have partnered with 12ouncesportsradio.com to give you the best rates on all of your business and office solutions for communication. Give them a call today. We have a dedicated line for all of the 12-ounce sports radio listeners. It is 1-877-779-3860. You will get a representative on the phone who will help you with all of your small business communications needs. Once again, give them a call today, 1-877-779-3860. Yeah, welcome back. You are listening to Scout Team Sports. I'm Loudbeard. He's the Golden Ghost. He's Chris America. And we bring it to you hot and live each and every AM during the week, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. and replay again at 11 a.m. on 12-ounce Sports Radio. Also, we like to get social. Make sure you hit us up on the Twitter machine at Scout Team Radio. If you tweet at us, we'd like to talk about your comments and read your tweets live on the air. Make sure you hit us up. And lastly, if you do not get an opportunity to listen to the live show and you still want to listen to the Scout Team, you can hit up our podcast. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and on our website. Our website is scoutteamradio.com. Check it out. The greatness of our old episodes. You can catch all of the fun, all of the magic, all of the joy, and all of everything in between. Well, gentlemen, start your engines. It's time to get back into some crazy sports talk. Anthony Mack, you teased the world just a few minutes ago. You teased them about the greatest game of the entire weekend, and you can't tease like that without coming through with the goods, man. We need to hear it.
The greatest game of the weekend involved our favorite team, each and every one of us. We love to see this team. We love to talk about this team. It's just so glorious And that is the Dallas Cowboys, or as we affectionately know them as the Dallas Cowgirls. I'm just saying, it's I love Dallas. I love their fans. I love the quarterback. I love the running back. I love the coach. They just bring so much joy to my life, you know? Cowboy fans for the last umpteen years have been clamoring that they're the greatest team ever. They're America's team. And I just love to see them fall flat on their face.
Well, Anthony,
poetic justice.
I have a quick question for you. Can you go ahead and describe all of the scoring drives that Dallas had this past weekend?
It was the same as their score, which was 0. Absolutely 0.
Oh, that one feels real good, doesn't it? So, final score would be 0 to 23 to the Indianapolis Colts. Woo!
And I'm not sure, but I think, was this the first shutout game of the NFL season this year?
No, I doubt it. I'm pretty sure there was several other ones. There was another one this weekend. A matter of fact,
There was
the
another
Giants.
one this weekend.
Yeah,
But
the
we
Giants
need to-
got shut out. The NFC East not representing very well this weekend, other than the Washington Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles. So I guess half of them are. But yeah,
Yeah. But we knew the New York Giants had a potential to score nothing. But the Cowboys looked on fire. I mean, everybody was Cowboys this, Cowboys going to the ship, Cowboys are winning it all. And now they've all kind of just disappeared like ghosts.
they were on a 5-game winning streak. 5 games.
Yeah. They had everything. They had everybody fooled. I mean, we all thought, hey, look, the Cowboys, they're going to the playoffs. They're going to make some noise. They look invulnerable. And then they come across the Colts, who are hapless, who are just right average, and they get destroyed. I love it.
Well,
Now,
I
this
think
brings
you're
it to the
underplaying the Colts just a little bit. Now, the Colts had a loss earlier in the season where they got 0. That to the Jaguars,
got
6-0. Remember that terrible, awful game? It's an easily forgettable game. But I do want to mention that other than that one loss, the Colts have won 7 out of their last 8 games. 7 out of their last 8 games. The Colts are on fire, man. I wouldn't call them hapless. But
Okay.
I would say...
It just sounds, if we call them hapless, it makes the Cowboys sound that much worse. So I'm sorry, Colts fans. I'm sorry. To all 5 of you out there.
All right.
We got
Yeah,
you.
there's not a lot of Colts fans, but you know the thing is that this is what worries me a little bit is Dallas has a little bit of a easier schedule to finish off the season than I would have liked. They go and they play Tampa Bay next week. Now, I'd like to think that Tampa Bay could compete, and I hope that they show up, but Tampa hasn't had the greatest of years. And then the last game of the season is against the Giants, and yeah, we all know what the Giants have been this year. Other than that giant win over the Redskins 40-6 or whatever it was last week, the Giants really have not showed up a whole lot this season. But I'd love to see the Giants spoil the Cowboys and help them take a defeat here towards the end of the season. That to me would be excellent.
Hey, gentlemen.
Go ahead.
I feel like the
Hey,
show has
guys.
a really bad case of the Mondays today. I feel like we're very lethargic. We're very low energy. So
We're talking about the Cowboys.
I'm taking reins of this show, and we're bringing back hashtag Motivational Monday.
Let's hear it, my friend.
What we're going to do is change it. We are changed. We're going to change the way we run. We're going to change the way we eat. We're going to change the way we block. We're going to change the way we tackle. We're going to change the way we win. Defense is desire. Take a lesson from the dead. If we don't come together right now on this hollow ground, we too will be destroyed. Just like they were. I don't care if you like each other or not, but you will respect each other. And maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll learn to play this game like men.
All right, you really stuck him, Campbell. Yeah, I love me a little contact, Petey. Left side.
Strong side.
Strong side. Left side. Strong side. Left side. Strong side. Left side. Left side. Strong side. Let me ask you something, Mr. Campbell. What kind of power you got? Oh, man, you know I got some soul power. What kind of power you got? What kind of question is that? I got soul power. Yes, you do. Right on. Let me ask you something now, Mr. Burkhead. Yeah. How strong are you? I'm too strong. What? How strong? I'm too strong. Too strong. Right on. I want a victory. Oh, I want a victory. I want a victory. I want a victory. You want a victory?
You demanded more of us. You demanded perfection. Now, I ain't saying that I'm perfect, because I'm not. And I ain't gonna never be. None of us are. But we have won every single game we have played till now. So this team is perfect. We stepped out on that field that way tonight. And if it's all the same to you, Coach Boone, that's how we want to leave it.
Alan, you're in. Come on.
All right. Now, I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night. And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans. Leave no doubt.
Man, gentlemen, I don't know if that doesn't get you pumped up. I don't know what will. Some good old-fashioned Remember the Titans. I'm ready to go pop that movie in my DVD player and watch it right now.
I watch that movie like 6 times a year, and I already got my football helmet on. I'm ready, Coach. Get me in.
You're ready to blitz all night.
Dude, let's go light somebody up, man. Oh, I love that movie.
See, the energy level is back up. It's great. I'm feeling it. Loudbeard, what else we got on the docket now that we can move forward?
Now that we can move forward. Now, I have a question. I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So, with the NFL, with these Saturday games, you mentioned it earlier, Chris America. Is this just another reason why college football is just losing it with giving up one of their Saturdays? Saturdays are for college football.
Yes.
And the NFL takes over, and college football basically gives up a weekend to the NFL because they did not have competitive bowl games. Now, there were some bowl games. I mean, who doesn't want to watch the Cure Bowl? Who doesn't want to watch
I do.
the
Army Air Force Reserves Specialty Bowl?
Right.
That was between Alcorn
Jimmy's
State.
Chicken Shack.
It was like Alcorn State versus.
Hey, you leave that Chicken Shack bowl game alone. They gave out free chicken wings.
Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles Bowl.
What about the? I can't remember the name of it, but it was something like Jim's Barbecue and Car Wash.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, they took a couple Pee Wee teams, put them out there, and called it a bowl game.
Yeah, no, you're right. I still have people arguing against better football games. I have people arguing against more college playoffs. Like, fans are arguing for the sake of million-dollar companies to continue to make millions of dollars rather than arguing to get something for themselves. It makes absolutely no sense. Like, could I use some more entertaining football? Of course I can. But damn it, Alabama deserves millions of more dollars.
It's the herd mentality, Chris America.
I'd rather
they're
see
sheep.
I'd rather see Alabama make millions of dollars than for me to watch exciting football the weekend before Christmas.
Absolutely.
It makes no sense to me at all.
It could be done.
No, I don't understand it at all either, my friend. It seems
Consumers
like for college,
arguing for
Yeah.
a business to make more money than to get a better product. Makes no sense.
No, I don't think it means a whole lot to me. I mean, it's just I'm saying that the sheep mentality, the herd mentality. It's like the people are afraid of change. They just go and they blindly follow the lead, and they don't want to see change. They're afraid of it because they don't understand that things could be better. We could watch better football coming in. We could watch things that are more important than just these little Jimmy's Chicken Shack Bowl. And it could be fun, it could be entertaining, but nobody wants that because they're just so ingrained in their brain that it's okay to just have the New Year's games and then now a championship game, and that's enough. We could have more, we could demand more, we could have better football, but there are so many people that are fighting it because they don't know any better and they don't see the big picture. They don't think outside of the box. All they know is what's been told to them that has been force-fed to them from ESPN, from the SEC network. They know that to be the truth, not what really could happen, and that would be better football. And that is my motivational Monday speech for you. Hashtag it.
Hashtag burn it down. CFP
Burn it
Blackout.
down. I love it, man. I love it. Hey,
You
Loudbeard.
like it, huh? Yes.
Loudbeard. Washington Wizards, we said they had a pretty bad weekend, right? With
Yeah,
the whole trade
Washington
debacle?
Wizards.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a bad weekend with that, but they had a big win.
They took on your LeBron Lakers and blew them out. 128
It's the
to
Los Angeles
110.
LeBrons, okay? Get it right.
What happened, buddy?
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about it because you
You
always
don't
like
wanna
to
talk
hate
about
on my LeBron Lakers. Now, I don't know if you saw this earlier in the weekend, but Lonzo and LeBron both got triple doubles in the same game. That's something, right?
They blew out
First
the-
time since 2006 or something like that. Crazy.
Yeah, no. It was like, wasn't it like the first time since Magic and Kareem had like triple doubles in the same night for the Lakers?
Oh yeah, for the Lakers, yes.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm trying to make it
obviously
even
we
more
have
impressive.
a new Magic and Kareem, right? Lonzo
Yeah.
and LeBron.
Lonzo and LeBron.
They're obviously
Lonzo
the same.
and LeBron, they're kind of different, but they get along. Lonzo and LeBron.
That sounds like a
I saw
Ruben
the-
Studdard commercial.
Oh, I can't sing that. I just can't.
Yeah, they're on an East Coast trip, it looks like, and they took on the Hornets, who are just awful. Michael Jordan ended up having to smack some guy upside the head, a Hornets player upside the head, and they blew them out 128 to 100. But then they go up to the nation's capital, and lose to the Washington Wizards 128 to 110. So it's gonna be, you kind of expect this on a road travel when you have a West Coast team taking on their East Coast games. You get a little bit of like kind of a up and down roller coaster ride.
Did you guys see the foul? John Wall, well, the no foul John Wall did on Alonzo? Anybody see that? Nobody
No,
saw
you're
that?
going to have to explain it.
No.
Tell us.
No, man. Lonzo's going to the hoop, man. The Wall just comes from behind and just clobbers him. No foul. Like, nothing. Lonzo's like, bro, that's a foul. The ref's like, I didn't see anything. Like,
It's
wow.
only a foul if they call it, right?
I guess so, man. But, hey, you know what, though? I like that. I like physical basketball. So when it happened, people were upset about it. But me, I was just like, hey, that's basketball, man. Keep playing. Lonzo sat down and cried for about, 2 minutes. But I love physical basketball. So I was like, yeah, let's go. Keep it up. Beat them down to the ground. No
All right.
blood, no
Look
foul.
at you, man. You're going. You're
Yeah,
like,
man.
you're like one of those people that watches hockey for the fights. You're like, I watch the NBA for the fights and the elbows, broken arms. That's why I watch the NBA.
I
So,
wish.
Dirk Nowitzki comes back this weekend and gets a standing ovation from Dallas. I love seeing these like future Hall of Famer types coming out. It's like watching Dwayne Wade. They're in their final seasons. They're getting their kind of last little bit of NBA action that they can possibly get. And Dirk's been hurt most of the year. He comes out for the first time this season, and it's awesome to see a fan base really appreciate a superstar like that because, number one, Dirk never left Dallas. He could have easily left at any point in his career, but he always stuck with it. He brought him a championship, and you don't see that kind of loyalty in the NBA anymore. Now, there's a guy that's coming up, Anthony Davis, who has the rest of this season and then next season with the Pelicans, and then will be a free agent. There's a lot of rumors around this guy getting traded, maybe out to L.A., maybe to Boston. Boston's really excited about throwing out some trade offers for Anthony Davis. Orlando Magic. Anthony Davis could move on from the New Orleans Pelicans, but if he does, the NBA incentivizes these guys to stay. If he moves on and gets traded or leaves the Pelicans, he will be putting a lot of money on the table. If he stays with the Pelicans, he will get $230 million super max deal, highest deal in all of the NBA. But as we've seen with guys recently, Kawhi Leonard, who would have been eligible for a super max, Paul George, these guys get tired of the teams that they're with and they end up moving on. Do you think Anthony Davis ultimately leaves the Pelicans, or you think he's a lifer?
I think if he does leave, then the NBA just has to admit they can't do anything to incentivize these all-stars from joining up with each other or moving to bigger markets or anything like that. Like, if you leave a $230 million contract on the table because you don't like the city of New Orleans or you don't like the direction of your team, like, then there really is no hope for the Magics, the Saints, or sorry, not the Saints, the Pelicans of the world, the Denver Nuggets of the world, the Utah Jazzes of the world, the Milwaukee Bucks of the world. Like, there's nothing you can do. Like, they've tried everything they can to help out these smaller market teams, and there's just, if he leaves, it just shows that these players, yes, they love the money, but they can get a lot of money elsewhere, and they want more than that. They want championships. They want everything else like that. And if there's one fan base that deserves to be more frustrated than us Orlando Magic fans, it has to be the New Orleans Pelicans. Over the last, 15, maybe 20 years, I'd have to go back and look, but I feel like they've had nothing but great drafts. They've brought in really good all-stars to their team, and then they just one by one end up leaving and getting picked off. And the Magic were kind of that way in their early ongoing with, Shaq, and I think at one point we had, Ben Wallace on our team. We've had multiple really good NBA players that just kind of hung out for a little bit and then they left. Would you be frustrated as a New Orleans Pelicans fan over the last decade at least, Loudbeard?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you just look at the two biggest names of recent history, one being Chris Paul. He was a superstar on the Pelicans, and he leaves and goes to the Clippers. And then now you have Anthony Davis, and the Pelicans are not that good right now. They're sitting there right below 500 or right at 500, right around there hovering. And in the West, that's not good enough to make the playoffs. And you don't see the same team that it was last year. Last year they had a little bit of a different lineup. They had DeMarcus Cousins before he got injured. That helped them out quite a bit in the regular season. But even after he left, you could see that this team had a lot of fight in it. And, I hate to say it, but Rondo was a huge part of that team last year. And it's just not the same team like we saw a season ago. And I don't know. I mean, if he sits there and he's not making the playoffs and he could get an offer to go play with a guy like LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard or James Harden, why would he not? I mean, he's going to make the money up in endorsements. This guy's set to make so much money over the life of his career, no matter what. It's not like he wouldn't get paid. I think the alternative would be a shorter deal for $150 million instead of $230 or something like that. I mean, my numbers aren't accurate. I'm just giving an estimate.
Right. No, yeah.
So, leaving $80 million on the table would be a lot, but we're talking about this guy's going to be making bazillions of dollars with everything when you put it together. So,
and I feel like when you cross that $100 million threshold, you start looking at value of life over value of money. Like, if you can't make $100 million work for you for the rest of your life, then I don't know what to tell you.
I hear you. You know what? When I see the NBA, this is how I feel. I feel like they should be Gladiator. The movie Gladiator. You know how they all teamed up to take down the Roman Empire. You know, he got everybody together to cooperate. I feel like this is what should happen. I feel like no matter what it takes, the player, Anthony Davis, or any other superstar, Kawhi, should team up with the best team, with LeBron or whoever it may be. Just assemble a team, and it only should be focused on one thing: taking down the empire, which is Golden State. And once that happens, I wish it would go back. I wish they would just all deassemble, all go back to their respectful teams, and go back to being the NBA of old, where, yeah, you did stay with your team and you battled it out. You know what I'm saying? I know that isn't going to happen, because once we let the cat out the bag, people are like, well, I like winning and it's easy, so I'm just going to stay with this superstar squad. But I feel like somebody should take the reins, join LeBron, beat the empire, and then give it back to the people. Make it all entertaining again.
Yeah,
That's
or
how I
Braveheart.
feel.
Or Braveheart. Braveheart was good
Braveheart.
too.
Yeah. But I feel like if
Braveheart's kind of like that.
if
yeah.
they did that, then they would become the new empire. They would become
that's
the
what
team to
I'm
beat.
saying. They would be.
So-
No one would give up that power. Like, hey, look, Gladiator, he defeated him, and then he said, hey, look, this is what I want. I'm going to give it back to the people. This isn't going to happen in the NBA. They're going to be like, well, we took down that empire. Let's become the evil empire now. So,
Well, gentlemen,
Yeah.
the empire that is known as the Monday episode of Scout Team Sports is crumbling down before us. It is over. We'll have to build up a
It's
new
over.
empire tomorrow morning. See you guys
Absolutely.
bright and early, 6 a.m., 12-ounce sports.
It's like the Mighty
Hey,
Ducks
Dirk
having
is
to
40
take down
years
that
old.
Iceland hockey team.
Oh, yeah, the Icelanders.
Woo. Those guys are rough.
Quack, 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 quack.
Derek is 40 years old.